All right, so we got through number 20 yesterday. So now we're doing the same thing except for it's adding something else to it. Okay, it says graph the function and then it says compare it to the graph of something else. It says like to the graph of 3 to the x. I'm not worried about you doing that part. Okay, don't worry about the compare part. You're literally just going to be graphing it. So like 22, y is equal to 2 times 3 to the x. Okay, so we're going to do our table. So now when we initially do this, okay, we're still plugging these values in. Okay, so 0 is still going to go in for x. But then after we get that value, we have to multiply it by 2. Okay, so if I put in 0, what do I get?
1.
Okay, that's 1 times 2 is?
2.
Okay, 2. Okay, if I put in 1 for x, I get what?
Just 3.
Okay, 3 times 2 is?
2.
If I put in 2 for x,
9.
9 times 2 is?
18.
Okay, now, you can't just, with this one, you can't just take and flip these now. Okay? The flipping worked when we only had whatever was in parentheses or whatever raised to the exponent. But now that we have this times 2 in front, we can't just take and just flip it and say, okay, well now it's 1 over 6. Okay? So if I put in negative 1, what happens to the 3? Or, well, 3 to the negative 1 is what?
1/3.
Okay, 1/3. Okay, the negative exponent moves to the bottom, so it's now 1/3 times 2, which is equal to what? 2/3. Okay, now if I put in negative 2, so 3 to the negative 2 is what?
Wait, just 1 over 9.
Okay, that's 1 over 9. Okay, now times 2, so it's going to be 2 over 9. So then to graph this one, okay, again, remember since 18 is really big, I'm not going to graph that one. So I've got here 0, I'm at 2, 1, I'm at 6. Okay, so it should look something like that. (24) y is equal to 1/4 times 3 to the x. All right, so when I plug in 0 for x in this one, what do I get?
What? Oh, wait. Whoa. Hold on. 1/4.
Okay, 1/4, because 3 to the 0 is 1 times 1/4. If I plug in 1 for x, what do I get?
That sucker's going to be
3/4.
3/4.
I think that's what I heard somebody yell out. All right, if I plug in 2 for x, what do I get?
Is that going to be 9 over 4?
That's going to be 9 over
Wait,
4.
that's like 2 and 1/4.
We leave them as improper fractions for right now. Okay. All right, if I plug in -1 for x, what do I get? Okay, so 1/4 times 1/3 is equal to what?
You multiply like the bottom and the top, right? So it's just like 1/12.
Yep, 1/12.
I just said that.
Okay, I couldn't hear you, so. All right, if I put in -2, what do I get?
1/9.
Okay, so it'd be 1/4 times 1/9, which is what?
1/36.
1/36.
You're probably good. You know.
All right, so thinking about this one, okay, 2.25-ish in terms of when I go to graph it. All right, so this one I've got 1/36, got 1/12, I've got 1/4, got up to 3/4, and then I've got a little over 2. Okay, so see, this one does not go up as quickly, okay, because of that fraction that's in there. Okay, it goes up a lot slower. All right, 28. Y is equal to -2 times 3 to the x. All right, so notice that this 2 out front, okay, is negative, so make sure you pay attention to that when we're solving these. So put a 0 in for 3. Put a 0 in for x, and what happens?
1.
Okay, 1 times -2 is
-2.
2.
-2. Put 1 in for x.
6.
What?
No. Negative
Oh, I just realized we skipped one. I was being really slow and I
-6. That's because it had decimals, so I skipped it.
-8.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Wait, so are we not gonna do the one with decimal homework? No?
No, I'm gonna take those ones out.
Fraction.
-18.
Is that just like 2/3? Wait.
So, well, so the -1, so yes, that moves a 3 to the bottom. So it's -2/3 because we still have the negative sign out here. Okay, don't let the negative here confuse you. All that negative does is move this to the bottom. I know it can like get a little confusing since it's, you know, you're seeing 2 negatives there. If I put in -2 for x, what happens? I can't hear you.
Would be negative 6 over 2.
So if the 3 goes to the bottom and it's raised to the 2, that's 9 times -2 should be
negative 18 over. Oh, I was looking at that.
-2/9. Alright, so notice this one's a little bit weird, right? This one's not going to be the same as the other ones that we've done. Okay. So I've got my -2, -1, 1, 2. Okay, but notice all these numbers are negative, so I don't need to put my y values in above. I need to put them in below. So -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this one, what this negative sign out front tells you is that instead of the graph being like this, okay, you just pretend my hand is more curved than it is. Okay, instead of it being like that, what it's going to do is it's going to flip it upside down. Okay, so at -2, we're at -2/9. At -1, we're at -2/3. At 0, it's at -2. At 1, it's at -6. Okay, so now my curve still follows the same pattern, but it's going down instead. Okay, so make sure you pay attention to the signs because that does make a big difference, okay? All right, I'm gonna do one more, and then that'll be all for this section. All right, 30. Y is equal to -1/4 times 3 to the x. All right, so if I plug in 0 for x, what do I have? And again, make sure we pay attention to this negative sign that's out here on the 1/4.
So it's just -1/4.
Yep, -1/4. When I put 1 in for x, what happens?
3/4? Wait, -3/4?
-3/4.
No.
You still read the negative.
Oh, for that? Oh, I thought you were going for 1. I was really confused.
What'd you say it was for 2?
-9/4.
-9/4. When I put in -1,
-1/12.
okay,
Oh,
-1/12.
this is the same thing as the last one. So
When I put in -2,
-1/36.
-1/36. Okay, so again, notice my y values are all negative, so it's going to be going upside down. All right, so -1/36, -1/12, -1/4, -3/4, and -9/4, something like that. Any questions about these ones? Feel okay about them?
As long as we don't do the decimal ones in the homework. There's only 2 decimal ones. 27.
The good news is the next section, if you get this section, the next section's basically the same. The only difference is instead of the graphs going like this,
They go like
they're going to go like this.
fabulous.
So, but the way we do it, the filling out the table, all of that's going to look exactly the same.
They're gonna go like
Yeah, so right now your graphs go like this. I'm about to lose the pencil. When we do the next section, so these are called growth functions because as it goes farther, they get bigger. Okay? And I realize if they're flipped, then they're getting smaller. But anyways. And the other ones, it starts really big and then gets really small. So there'll be a decay function is what it'll be
like
called.
business. You always see them on the it's like
Exactly. And whenever you get to, I don't know if you'll do it in physical science. Well, when you start talking about the half-life of things, that goes with this stuff as well.
Please don't.
just don't.
Don't. I don't like science math. There is no need.
I'm just letting you know that that's where, if you've done that, or when you get to that, okay, that's what is happening. All right, so yesterday I gave you problems, I think, 9, 11, 17, and 19, so I'm going to rewrite those down here. Okay, if you didn't finish those, you need to do those, and then adding on 23, 25, 29, and 31.
The ones from yesterday, they weren't like we didn't have to remember.
No,
it's
you
like all
will.
of this, right?
Yeah, you'll turn all of these in together.
Yeah, that's what.
You have to be like before Monday or by the end of
Just by Monday. That's
Is it
fine.
a tab yet?
No, I'm getting ready to create one as soon as we're done. All right, that's it. So whenever you're done with that, then we're done for today. Monday we'll do the next section. Okay, you will have a test next week. Probably Friday
What
Test on what?
yeah,
on
what-
this whole chapter. Okay, we probably what's gonna happen is the next section we should be able to get through relatively quickly. Most likely, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video.